Hi everyone and welcome back. So this is our repository in which we are going to work on. This is the microservices and all the further codes I'm going to push onto this repository. So the last two videos we were writing Express generator app and the TypeScript generator app. Also I have pushed here, and all the future apps which we are going to build, which is going to be building the APIs, building a simple authentication API using Express and then Express TypeScript with the MongoDB. So what I'm going to do, in the last video we have just only talked about generators, Express generator and Express TypeScript generator, and we were just running the application. We didn't write any code. Now we are going to build the APIs and then we are going to use this monorepo concept. So we can have the applications in the monorepo, and inside the applications we are going to put everything together. Okay, I need to make it transparent. So here we can put all these applications inside apps for the monorepo. Currently we don't have packages, so we will also try to understand what is this monorepo, how we can manage the multiple projects in a single monorepo. Before that we will be exploring building the APIs using Express JavaScript. Okay, we will be writing some code, testing the APIs, and in another video we will be writing Express TypeScript with the MongoDB, and we are going to use all different fundamental principles of building an API. Still we are not talking about 12-factor principles. After this is done, then we will be writing one simple nextjs RESTful API. Once we are done, we will understand how we are building the APIs, how to add the routes, controller services in the nextjs, how we are building the APIs in simple Express TypeScript. Once we have an understanding, then we will try to understand how we can make it production ready, like all the required things of logging, containerizations, deployment, all those things we will start adding, because I'm covering these playlists from the ground zero. So people often get confused when I just copy the code from here and there and start with the bootstrap. So here in this playlist I'm talking the basics first, like Express app, Express TypeScript app, then nextjs baseline app which contains the nextjs. I'm not going to talk about nextjs, how the nextjs APIs are built, how the Express TypeScript APIs are built, but we are talking about how to structure them, what are the best ways of building them. Okay, so in the next coming videos we will be building a simple Express TypeScript authentication application with a MongoDB, and there is already, I think, applications containers is already there. So this repository will be useful in understanding all the concepts of monorepo, how we are managing the applications, packages, and how the common dependencies across all the packages are managed at the root packages. And you can see here commit-lint, ESLint, Husky, Jest, Prettier, TSJS, TypeScript. These are common dependencies I moved to the top of the to the root of the project. And this whole monorepo setup is nothing but nx with PNPM workspace. So we can have multiple packages, multiple applications inside it. So that also we will be talking about what is monorepo and how this PNPM workspace is helping us. So here I'm saying, okay, whatever is defined inside packages in the packages directory will be a part of PNPM workspace. So the main advantage of this monorepo concept is, let's say you write one application here or a package here. Here I'm writing another package, and the package name is, let's say, utility package. I can just call it as a dev logger, right? This is the local package I built inside this monorepo. How can you use these without even publishing this package? Because in JavaScript world you can build reusable packages and you can publish them, but here in this monorepo, which is PNPM workspace, I can just add the dependency of this package, something like this, inside a package JSON, obviously, dev logger, and you can even specify the package version, and I can just simply say is this, and you can start using this logger package inside your application. So how cool is this? Without even publishing a package, I can start using them locally in my workspace. So that's the beauty of Monorepo. Here you can externalize all the common configurations. Let's say I have a dev logger, and then I have dev config here. There is another package I have created for dev database. And then whatever the services you are building, you can just add these dependencies in the respective service, because these are common external packages which can be used in any of the service, and you can just link them locally like this. Okay, so let's start our journey. Hi everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to my brand new playlist. Currently I'm covering lots of full stack application, and this playlist is generic playlist where I'm going to cover the modern stacks like mean stack, merge stack, and just building a simple auth APIs in Express, or building a simple production ready APIs in Express using TypeScript and using MongoDB. So these will be the individual videos. So first I'm going to start with the basic. Let's say we are just going to make a quick and dirty simple auth APIs in Express. Then we will introduce TypeScript on top of that. Then we will make a production ready Express APIs, Express TypeScript APIs, and then we will move with any particular mean and merge stack. I mean, you might see thousands of the videos overflooding with these stacks. I will not talk much about it, but I will be using Monorepo, NX, and PNP and workspaces to build the modern stack. So either you are using just a React TypeScript and Express TypeScript or nextjs TypeScript, we'll be using the Monorepo for building the end-to-end full stack application. So my first 3 and 4 end-to-end videos will be talking about individual stacks. Okay, how to build a modern apps using Express, quick and dirty. Then we will just add a simple authentication, like building a simple auth APIs and using Express TypeScript. Then we will introduce up some more concepts of the Express, like we will build a production ready Express TypeScript application with the MongoDB. And then we will talk about some full stack clone apps, where we will be using nextjs, Prisma, TRPC, Tailwind and all, because that is the end goal, to use the modern stack. And we will also cover one merge stack application, which can be simple e-commerce or a simple application which covers all the aspects of the Express TypeScript. And if you are writing components in the React or Next.js, then Next.js TypeScript, all those things we are going to cover. So I mean, if you check out my channel, then most of these things are in the Next.js. I mean, I used to talk about Express back in those days, but I think the audience for Express.js is also huge, and I should cover something on the Express.js. Not each and every service I need to build in Next.js. I still love Next.js and will be loving Next.js for future years. And I'm already building the clone, like Booking clone, Swiggy clone, and Uber Eats clone already halfway done. Booking clone I'm using, Airbnb clone I'm going to publish. So these clone applications there, I'm just using end-to-end Next.js and all these different stacks, Next.js with the TypeScript and then Next.js. So I'm talking about NEST for the APIs, NEXT for the component development, SSR, right? So don't get confused in Next and Nest.js. Okay, Nest.js is a Node.js framework for building the APIs. Similarly, we have Express.js, which is like, okay, vanilla framework, most popular also. Nest.js is also built on top of Express. So we'll talk about Express.js first, like building just a simple quick and dirty auth APIs. Then we will add TypeScript on top of that. Okay, and then we will talk about how we can build a production ready application. So this is initially 3-4 videos I'm going to create for building our technology stack, and then we will talk about, okay, let's roll out these workspaces and the Monorepo, and then add one Node.js Express TypeScript app APIs, and then add Next.js another application. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do, I'm going to first talk about simple bare-bone Express app. So what you need is, I'm going to build a quick and dirty. So I will just have a server.js and some database connection, and I'm going to write some auth routes. I will be using JSON web token to just generate a token on the user login. So let's do that. Okay, so we are going to work on these three APIs: Express.js with simple, quick and dirty auth, TypeScript Mongo with production ready microservice. Okay, because people often ask, they want to build a microservice, what should they proceed? I mean, microservice can be just a simple interface, either exposing REST, a GraphQL interface, or a different set of microservice which is listening for some particular events, not just dealing with the synchronous requests coming in form of REST APIs or GraphQL APIs. And here I'm using Express, so that's the advantage for lots of developers, because initially people mostly learn Express with Mongo and TypeScript. Okay, and I'm going to build all these things with the simple Monorepo, because I need to build these three applications, and then further we will keep extending this example. So I'm going to use pnpm and nx. So if you are following my any earlier tutorials, then I'm using this thing on almost all my projects because I like it. Why? Because I can manage all the dependencies if I need to link any. So this is the Monorepo concept. If you are a beginner, if you don't want to learn what is Monorepo and nx, you can skip it, because we are going to work only in a particular folder. That folder is your Express app which you are running. Okay, this pnpm nx is just to manage some kind of common dependencies into reusable packages, and to keep all my applications into single app directory, so I can extend some of the examples and can talk about more and more services, more and more microservices which are built with Express.js. Okay, so this is our simple setup. We are going to create a simple pnpm workspace. I will also talk about how you can baseline a simple workspace, and then how you can add a Monorepo things. Okay, like what all configurations, prettier, ESLint, and then how you can keep adding the different applications, because this simple Monorepo is a simple workspace that will have two things. One is the app directory. Inside this we are going to have all our Express applications, and then we will have packages. There I'm going to put any custom reusable utility packages which I can use across all the different services we are writing, like MongoDB database connections, right? This can be a simple package. Any utility you are writing on a MongoDB, we can put that inside a reusable package that can be used across all the services. So I will not go into the advanced stuff for now, because this playlist is only talking about the basics. So let's baseline the repository. I will share the repository link, and then we'll start building the Express.js simple auth API. So this is the repository we have created. I will just do the create repository, and then we'll just initialize one readme file for this. Commit changes to the main, and here is our repository. So this you can follow. Here we will first initialize our pnpm workspace. Okay, and then we'll start adding our Express applications. Okay, so let's talk about workspace first, because I don't want to make this these sessions complex or advanced, because initially we will be talking about very basic things. Okay, how do you create Express APIs? Currently, like, you will just create a folder in your system, and you will just start creating package.json, and then your app, src, and then your tests, and all those folders you will create. And then let's say you also want to create it as a full stack app. So what you will do in that case, here you will create a package.json for the React app. This is the Node.js, right? And then this is your React app. What you will do, you will create two folders in the root. You will create one folder full stack app, and then this is how you will do. You will create one folder named as a full stack. Okay, and you will create these two directories inside it. They will have their own package.jsons. They will be running in their own ecosystem, and you will be duplicating all the lot of dependencies, like, because these are the two different apps. So you need a ESLint, prettier, and some configurations, commitlint, prettier. I mean, there are many dependencies, some dependencies which checks the Node.js version, fbjs script, and commitlint, commit conventions. All those dependencies are like common, which you want to have at a root, because what currently you are doing, you have a two totally separate projects, they don't have any link. So instead of doing it like this, what I can do, I can put common dependencies in my root workspace. So here, this is my root package JSON. Okay, root package JSON will have all the dependencies which are common in both the projects, because we are writing React TypeScript, Node.js TypeScript. There are so common TypeScript dependencies, ESLint, prettier. Lots of things can be common that I can put at the root package JSON, and then inside that I will have in the root directory, I can have apps. They can have both the projects, okay, API app and UI app. And similarly, there is an advantage you are getting is you can also create a packages folder which can be reused by Node.js or React. You might have heard about or used this packages concept, npm packages. Let's say I wanted to use the day.js package in both the application. Day.js is provide date and time. This is a common package. I can put this in the root. And there are some libraries which you want to build, like there is a typings library I wanted to create. Typings is like a common typings, TypeScript typings for the entities. Like let's say I'm building a simple food order app, right? So I will have a restaurant entity, restaurant menu entities. So these are like interface and enums you are creating. Those are common that can be used in the React TypeScript also and in the Node.js TypeScript also. So I can create a packages. Inside this root, I can create a packages. These packages are those packages which you are not publishing to the npm or GitLab or GitHub repository, but locally you can link, you can use those packages in the Node.js app, in this Node.js app, or in this React app. That is the advantage of creating a workspace, that you can share these packages across different folders in the workspace without even publishing this. So this package is talking about, okay, utility. Let's say utility, some common JavaScript utilities you have placed inside this. It has its own tsconfig, build configurations and all. And let's say you have created any React component, React UI library, right? And you also have another application which is nextjs. Nextjs also wants to use this React UI library, so you can put this in the package. Now all the other applications which you are going to have inside this workspace can use it. So this is the advantage. Without even publishing, you will be using this. So this whole become a workspace, and you will have a root package JSON and some root configuration, ESLint RC, prettier RC, root package JSON, and this become your workspace. This is how you will be using it, right? And this is how we will be creating it, and you will be just watching it, how to baseline a simple monorepo, and then we will add these Node.js API apps in our project. Okay, so let's baseline our code. This is our simple folder, and here we are talking about PNPM workspace. All right, so I will just use these reference to create a simple baseline project. This is how you need to create a PNPM workspace.yml. And here we are saying this, okay, my workspace will contain apps and the packages. So I will create two directories, apps and packages. Okay, and I will copy this thing. So what this contains, this is saying that inside this workspace we have these two folders, okay, packages and apps. These two are considered as a part of a PNPM workspace. Okay, and this is simple workspace we are creating. Now we can add a simple package JSON, because we are initializing at the root also. Then we need to have a package JSON. So I will go here. First of all, get init. It is repository is initialized, and I can just simply do is pnpm init. It will give me a simple package JSON. So that package JSON contains, okay, what is the project name. Here we will start adding the dependencies. Okay, apart from that, what other information we need? We need to install all the common packages which we are going to add inside this. So this apps folder, we will be creating API app. Let's say I will just name it as express auth Express.js auth APIs. Okay, another full project I will be creating here is Express TypeScript API. And then the third application we are going to create is Express TypeScript Mongo APIs. I mean, you can say production ready. And these are the three different applications we are going to build. Apart from that, we might need a Docker Compose because in some projects we need a MongoDB access to persist the data. Okay, so we need that, and I will just create a readme.md. And let's see what are common configurations which we need to put at the root. So coming back here, let's try to see what all dependencies which we may need at the root, which are common across all the projects. So I can think of ESLint plugins. Right, there are different modules: ESLint config prettier, ESLint config plugins which we need, and then prettier RC prettier, and TypeScript, all the packages. I'm just trying to add TypeScript because we are writing a node TypeScript in some projects. Currently this is the mix of TypeScript and JavaScript. First we will write a simple JavaScript Express app, and then we will use TypeScript. Commit lint to add commit conventions on our GitHub messages, and ESLint husky, what other configuration, tsjest and jest. So these are the modules which we need. And this, on top of this workspace, we are going to add a monorepo tool, nx. So we'll add a nx dependency. So these are some of the dependencies which we need. So I will just install them, add the root package JSON, and then we will create a different Express application. So these are some of the common dependencies which we need at the root of the project. So here I will try to show you what all dependencies we are adding at the root of the project. So we are already in this. So npm install, and these dependencies all will be dev dependencies, because here we are not writing application. Here we are doing running some tests, running some prettier, lint or commit conventions. All those things are there, right? So what I can do is npm add, okay, commit lint CLI. This is the first dependency. Then we have lots of these dependencies, right? ESLint, prettier, jest, husky, and we'll keep adding the other dependencies. Okay, we are adding it to the root because we are adding that to the workspace. So it will add all these dependencies to the root. And then what I will do is rest all dependencies are same: ESLint config prettier, ESLint config, ESLint plugin prettier, jest. Okay, here if you see our package JSON, I will just move them to the dev dependencies. I think this would be a command to add them to the dev dependencies. And rest all other dependencies, what all we need TypeScript, tsjest, right? I will add them, and then I will add the npm install. Okay, then we have a ESLint dependencies related to prettier. So I will just pair this up with this ESLint config prettier, and some dependencies for the commit convention, commit gen, that I will add here, and then TypeScript ESLint plugins. Okay, that I can add here. So this is like a simple setup we have done. Then there are other dependencies. I think husky we already have. FBJS scripts to determine the Node.js version, to allow and not allow a particular versions. Like lower versions we can just prevent them. Okay, this is our package JSON. So I wanted to install them, so I will do is a npm install. I mean, I'm using these for each and every project, so I just added them. This is for commit conventions. This is for the TypeScript ESLint plugins, because we are using TypeScript ESLint, and then we are using Prettier. So ESLint will install a Prettier plugin, right? And these are the TypeScript ESLint plugins. Based on what you are writing, either you are writing a, let's say, Svelte, Next, or Prettier, ESLint plugins you need to add. ESLint plugin Svelte 3, ESLint plugin Prettier, ESLint config Prettier. So these are the dependencies which depends on what you are doing, because ESLint needs to publish its plugin based on what you are writing. And here we can add ESLint RC. So what is ESLint RC? Enforce ESLint on your project, right? Similarly, there is another file .prettier RC, okay, which enforce the Prettier configuration. So when you do npm run Prettier write, it should be able to format the content. And then there is a commit config. This config is using this commit lint convention. So I will talk about this, what this is. Commit lint, I mean, it lints the commit messages, and you can see here, this is how we install this commit lint conventions. And I mean, it is helping us to write the proper commit messages with hooks, okay. And then we have, so this is the commit config, and same I need to update in the package.json commit gen. Okay, then we have all these things added here. What else we need? ESLint RC. Now ESLint RC, I will just use the standard ESLint RC for the TypeScript based projects. I mean, I can write it, but there is no point of writing this. You can just copy it from your existing project, or if you have strict rules, these are some of the rules which you want to apply on your project, like TypeScript, no empty functions, no unused variables, no unknown property, no console logs. If you put 0 is, I think 0 is allowing you. If you put off, means you are disabling this particular rule. I mean, it will not throw any error. No use before define. If you try to use a variable without defining the classes, functions, and variables, it will throw an error when you are running ESLint. Okay. So this is just like a simple ESLint config, and it is using all these plugins. You see, ESLint TypeScript plugin that we have added in our package.json. ESLint plugin parser, all those will be needed for the ESLint. Okay, Prettier RC. This is the Prettier. So when you run npm run Prettier, it is going to enforce single quotes false, trailing commas, ES5. So I can talk about this Prettier. Prettier is actually a module which is defined. Install Prettier, how to install it? Just we are creating Prettier.json or just Prettier RC, and inside that you will define the rules. Okay, so here are the rules. Prettier and linter. So sometimes people get confused why we need a Prettier when we already have a ESLint. Prettier enforces the formatting styles. ESLint enforces the coding syntax style. Okay, right, like function conventions, naming conventions, how the switch or if else loops would work, how we are declaring or redeclaring a variables. Prettier just enforcing, okay, double quotes, single quotes, naming and formatting and indentation, basically that. Okay, what is Prettier? And Prettier is common and everywhere it is being used for TypeScript. Okay, so for TypeScript there is a Prettier configurations we can use. Okay, we are setting it up in the VS Code. You can also add a pre-commit hook. So for that we are going to use Husky. So whenever you do the commit, this Husky will try to run this Prettier on our code base, so that we will know, okay, these particular files are not following the Prettier conventions of using commas, variable namings and all. Okay, so we have, this is our simple Prettier. prettier ignore means these files we need to ignore while running a prettier. Similarly, there is a ESLint ignore. These files you need to ignore when you are running a ESLint dist build node modules. Okay, and then jest config, because at the root we are going to have a common jest file. That is just a default jest config, because jest is a test runner for running the test against your test which you have written. So these are some of the configurations. You can also add a Docker Compose YAML. Why I need it? Because I need to create a MongoDB container, right, for my Node.js application. So I will just add a definition there. This is my apps, these are my packages. So inside packages you can create a utility. Okay, and then I can just create another packages. DB can also be a package. Here you are initializing the database and all. And then, oh, we missed the git ignore. That's why it is showing 10,000 commits files. Okay, there are only 12 files. That's good now. So we have configured almost everything. Now we can also enable Husky. So npm, let me see the package JSON. We are using Husky. And then inside our script, we need to add a prepare statement. So we can prepare the Husky setup. Npm run prepare. So it is using Husky, and you can see the Husky git hook installed. Here I got the Husky folder, but it is just like a default. We need to have a 3 different hooks. What is a Husky? If you try to Google it, what is the use? It's like a git hook made easy. So sometimes when you want to commit, you want it to run lots of commands, like build should be executed or prettier should run when you create a commit. So even before you add the files to the stage, or you do add a commit for those staged files, before that I need to run this formatter like prettier. I need to run, you can run ESLint, you can run the build command. All these can be hook attached to the Husky. Okay, so what do we have is inside .husky file we can create a pre-commit file, pre-commit, and these are the different hooks you can create. So what I will do is inside Husky I will create some of my hooks. So here is our Husky. I got husky.js. So here I will add some of the pre-commit hooks. So inside Husky I can create a new file which is commit message, and what this Husky will do is it will use the husky.sh and it will run this commit lint. So it will just initialize this commit lint and then pre-commit and prepare commit message. These are the 2 other hooks you can add, pre-commit and prepare commit. So it is running a lint, npm run prettier, right, and it is prepare commit message. So this is how it is using it is preparing the commit message. Like it will give you the options, is it a feature, it is a bug fix or enhancement, all those things. So if you try to do it, npm run, first we need to add a prettier script on our application. So we are using prettier, right? So I will just go to package JSON, and this is how I can add simple prettier configuration. Okay, why it is complaining? So this is prettier and prettier right. I will try to explain this, what this command is doing. So it is running just you can see it is running this prettier sh file and running these checks against all these files. So npm run prettier. So you can see it is checking the formatting of all these files, forgot to run the prettier. So what I will do is I will do prettier right. So it will try to update the files by adding the formatting here. Now we should not see any warning, all matched files using prettier code style. Okay, so this is how you can enable the prettier. You can also add lint. I mean, that is fine, I guess. Lint is also same as a bin prettier. You don't need it, you can skip it. So here we have our basic setup. Now inside these applications we can create our Express app. At the root we have, I think, lots of things, TypeScript, node modules and all. So it's a PNPM workspace, right? Here you can see the node modules, right? These are like a global dependencies which you have. Now what you can do is you can have your own package JSON for these applications, and if there is a common dependencies, then those dependencies will be sim linked and will be used from the root node modules, because those dependencies will be created using symlink from the root package JSON, root node modules. So that is the advantage. This is how this PNPM workspace maintains the symlink of the root workspace dependency and the dependencies which you are installing at the app or the packages. So this is application, these are the packages, and we are good to go now. So this is like a simple baseline. We have added ESLint RC, prettier RC, commit conventions, and if I just now how this commit hooks are working. So if I do git commit -m, now hooks should execute. You can see these formatting hooks has been executed, and I will do is a git add, and I will run this command again. So it is checking the formatting and it is giving me these options. So who is doing it? This is happening through the conventional commit. I mean, these are the dependencies which we are using, and that is happening through these hooks, because when you do the commit, these hooks are getting executed. And commit message, because here it is using commit lint to allow us to give us this options. Okay, what you want to enable, like it's a new feature, refactor. I think it's just like a baseline for us. That's it. Now you can just push the develop branch. Okay, so this is a simple baseline for building the production ready services and some demos, which we are going to talk in context of Node.js and Express. So see you in the next video. There we are going to create a simple Node.js auth without using TypeScript, because we are going to write a quick and dirty, then we are going to make it clean by adding the TypeScript and all the simplified folder structure, adding security to the APIs, managing the configurations, managing the middlewares, all the building blocks of Express. We will do it in the right way.